you know, you need that confirmation number, because that is the only way that you get to know if you've won or not.
You go and they tell you the person who is responsible, because they're on maternity leave, they'll come back after 4 months, because we are new. We don't know where you came from. We have never seen you. And the documents, the database that we have was changed the other day. So we still have issues even with people who are still in school and want their transcripts. So what about you that we don't know? Things like certificates, transcripts, please get them. Have them in like somewhere in a safe place where you can actually go and access it very quickly when you need them. Hey guys, this is Elle and Nick. Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining our family. Welcome back to all our returning subscribers. Thank you for liking and sharing this video with your friends. And yeah, today we are here to talk about
Diversity visa.
Yes, it's the Diversity Immigrant Visa Program in the US, and this is commonly known as the green card. So the green card lottery that, you know, a lot of people talk about, that they came here with and things like that. So a lot of you have been asking us, how can I come to the US to live there, to work there, you know? And this is one of the easier ways that you can come here, because you don't necessarily need someone to sponsor you, or, you know, you don't need any connection to someone in the US to be able to come here. You can just apply for the chance to apply for the visa, and if you're lucky enough, you get it and you can come to the US that way. So
yeah, so usually it's actually electronically done, and it's chosen randomly. The good thing about it is it's free. There's nothing as good as a free thing, right? So why not? Like, you can just apply, then see what happens.
yes.
Right? Yeah.
So the US, every year they spare about 55,000 visas for the diversity program. And you know, these 55,000 visas are for people all around the world, and they basically give people chances to apply to come here so that they can make their population more diverse. And so these visas is by a lottery program. So you apply, you put in your name and your application, and then if you get picked, then you have a chance to actually apply for the visa to come here and get a green card. Usually every year there's a time that the lottery will open and a time that it will close. For this year, which would be for DV Lottery 2024, the dates are not out yet as of the day that we are shooting this, which is August 14th. But they definitely open it up and share the information widely. So when they open, we'll definitely be sure to let you guys know when it's open. And so we just wanted to shoot this video a little bit ahead of time so that you guys have information on what you would need to do and the ways that you can prepare yourself, so that when it's open, you're able to put in your application sooner rather than later, because it also closes and they advise against, you know, waiting until the last minute and so on and so forth. So it's open October, usually first week of October to first week of November every year. And then it is free to register. And please remember this point, it is free to register, but if you win and you have to go on to apply for the visa, then it costs you some money, and we will talk about that later. But the initial application is free, and then you can only go to one website to apply, and that website is dvprogram.state.gov. That is the only place that you can apply for the DV lottery. Please, 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 please do not go anywhere else for this. If anyone is giving you any other website, any other place, then it's fraud.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So is that site right now accessible?
It is accessible.
It is.
It's accessible, but it's just showing the previous. So because that's also the site that you go to to find out if you've won, or you know, you'll see things about last year's entries. So it's gonna say the entry for 2021, no, DV 2023 is closed right now, but you can check if you have like your confirmation number, you can check if you won, or you know, that kind of a thing.
So I want to check and see if it's actually accessible. It's what?
DV program www.state.gov. So you see, you can check your status if you won, if you entered the 2022 or 2023, but it's not open for 2024. So usually it's like we are talking about 2024, DV 2024 right now, because that would be the year that you would travel to the US. So it does take some time, right? So people that applied in 2020, their DV lottery was called DV 2022 because this is the year that they're getting their visa and traveling here. And then last year entry was for DV 2023, which is, you know, now they'll be traveling next year to the US. And then if you apply this year in October, that will be DV 2024, and that means you will be traveling in 2024 to the US. So it's not a quick process, right? It does take some time, and you know, you just have to, it's just how long the process takes. And we can go more into how they do the timelines and things like that, but you just need to know that if you apply now, you're likely, and you win and everything goes through, you're likely going to travel in 2024 to the US.
So something else maybe I should add is all this application is done online. There's nothing like sending via mail or using your post office to send. So amongst the countries that are actually eligible for this program, are actually, I'll put the list of the countries, because not all countries are eligible. Some of the countries, like in Africa, if you are Nigerian, Nigeria as a country is not eligible for this program. Same to countries like Canada, Mexico, Colombia, Brazil. There are some countries. I'll also put the list down here so that you see the countries that are eligible. So
yeah, and I think we have to mention that those are from last year, so we don't know.
Oh yeah, that's from 2023. Yeah.
So the instructions and everything for 2024 as of us shooting, the countries and everything, they're not out yet.
So just to be clear, like she said again, whatever, like this program that we are talking about right now is for 2024. Right? Not 2023.
Yes. So we are talking about how to prepare to apply for the upcoming one, which is 2024. But we don't have the current information because the US government has not released like the date and the specific instructions and the countries that will be eligible yet. But we are talking about generally. So we're referring to some information from 2023. Those are the things that we can talk about right now, but like when the information comes out, we can update ourselves and maybe make another video of like specific information about the 2024. The way that they determine which countries are eligible is if within the last 5 years, your country has had 50,000 people or more migrate to the US, then that country is not eligible for that year.
So what we are praying is within 5 years, your country has not crossed the 50,000 mark. And this is maybe, it's like a blessing because during the 2020 lockdowns, no one traveled anywhere. So I'm hoping that the numbers didn't go up for some of you who are watching this. So like I said, those are the countries, and there's something else. So if your country is amongst the countries that maybe are not eligible, you can still come through 2 other ways.
So for example, guys, if you were born in Nigeria, you're not eligible to apply for the DV lottery because Nigeria in 2023, at least we can refer to that, in 2023 was not eligible. But if you're married to someone who's Kenyan and you know they were born in Kenya, you can claim eligibility through their country of birth. Same as a parent. If you were born in a country that's not eligible, let's say Nigeria, and your parents were born in a country like Kenya, which is eligible, you can claim eligibility through them, their country of birth.
So the other requirement that you need is your education level. You need to have a high school diploma, or you need to have a work experience that is 2 years and it should be within the last 5 years, with the 2 years your work experience should be 2 years worth of training. Whichever work you're doing right now, if you needed 2 years of training, then it is eligible, it is qualified. So for you to know whether this work occupation is actually qualified, there's a site that will put at the bottom that you are supposed to visit, and then you will see if your work is in the list of the qualifying different kinds of occupation. The distribution of these visas is usually within 6 geographical regions, and no country is supposed to receive more than 7% of the visas at any given time. So that translates to around 3,850 visas per country. So you're required to have a passport while applying. Please don't forget your passport number, or if you don't have a passport number, there's actually 3 exemptions. The 3 exemptions are as listed below. So if you feel like you are coming from any of these countries that has these exemptions, you can actually still apply.
So for the passport requirement for DV 2024, I've seen some people talking about, that the passport is not required for this time round and something of that nature, but we haven't found anything saying that a passport is not required for the next application period. But if we do, then we'll update the information as it becomes available. But at this time, the site still says that since 2021, DV 2021, people have been required to have a passport. And so you would need to, if you don't have a passport right now, this is a good time to start looking for a passport, and then be ready when the application period opens. The other thing to keep in mind is who you should include on your application. You should include your spouse if you're married, and you definitely should include your children, even if those children you're not planning to bring them with you. If in case you win, you're not planning to bring them with you to the US. It's children you don't live with anymore. It's kids that live far away from you. Just whatever the case is, you still should include all of your children. And so since there is a requirement of also like getting the pictures taken, the qualifying pictures, they have requirements for your photos that you need to have with you when you're actually applying. Then if your kids are far away, or you have a situation going on that you don't see them a lot, or whatever the case is, you can use this time between now and by the time that the lottery opens to make sure that you have a chance to obtain pictures of them and your spouse, or your spouse as well, and have pictures of everyone that will be going on your application. If you don't include all of your kids, it could be it could lead you to getting disqualified. And then don't include someone that as your spouse if they're not really your spouse. So if it's a girlfriend or a fiance, or you're doing the can we stay, or you're married traditionally, or those do not equate to someone you're legally married to. The US only recognizes legal marriages, and so if you're not any of those, you shouldn't include them. Basically, you shouldn't include someone if you're not legally married to them.
So I have a question about the kids, because you've said you should include all the kids. So does an age cap matter?
Oh, right. Yes, thank you for reminding me. So it should be unmarried kids under the age of 21.
So if you are over 21, you may not be included in this.
But you can apply for yourself if you're over 21.
Oh yeah, you can apply for yourself, but someone cannot apply on your behalf, like say you're their kid.
Oh right, yeah, they can't include you in their application.
Yeah, so as she was saying about the pictures, so I have a list. I'm actually reading this from the travel.state.gov, which is the official site, and part of the requirements for the pictures, the photos that you're supposed to take, is that they should be, one of them is they should be within the last 6 months to reflect your current appearance. And you should also take it in full face view. So you should face the camera the same way we are facing, but not have weird expressions.
Yeah, you should have a neutral facial expressions and both eyes open,
like the way I'm doing right now. Yeah, So you should also not wear anything that's actually covering any part of your face, like sunglasses, hats. I don't know if they actually. I don't know. I've not seen anywhere they are talking about maybe if you have any kind of drawings on your face, if it's a problem. So I've never seen that.
I don't think if it's like a tattoo, you can take it off. So
so it's stuck with you.
Yeah,
but people usually remove tattoos.
I mean, you could. Do you think you would remove a tattoo for a passport photo?
No, not really for our passport photos. Like within 6 months, something may have happened, and then you decide to remove the tattoo because it was a wrong choice. Anyway, I've not seen it in this list.
You're making me smart.
Yeah. So, and again, there's something that's very interesting. You should not wear any uniforms while taking these pictures. You should wear the clothes that you're used to, like this one or any other cloth, except if it's a religious outfit that you wear every day.
Yeah. We'll include the rest of the requirements for your photos somewhere. And, just make sure that when you get those done, they follow everything, because when you go to apply and it doesn't meet all the requirements, I don't know if it goes through or not. So
I think most of these are usually tied in together. Like there's someone who will be checking all these things. If any of them doesn't meet the requirement, and maybe you passed, I'm assuming, they will contact you to either submit those documents like we do in other visas. I'm just saying based on the visa that I've used.
I don't think it even goes through when you press
when
submit,
you're applying.
When you're applying. I don't know for sure, but I don't think it goes through if you don't have photos that fit the requirements.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know.
Anyway, but just to be on the safe side, just make sure that the photos that you have meet all the requirements, and then you have a photo for every person that you're including in your application.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, while you guys are preparing for these, the more people that put in or are ready to put in the application, then the better chances everyone has of winning. So if you're married and each one of you puts in an application, then you both have two chances, and your kids also have multiple chances of, if either of you wins, then they can take the other one. But it doesn't mean that you guys have a better chance because you're married. Being married by itself doesn't qualify as, like, they don't choose by how many people are married, how many people are single, but you can put into multiple applications. And then also another thing, when you're applying, we'll probably talk about this when it gets closer, just make sure you're putting in just one application. If you do multiple applications, then you get disqualified.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think the computer does that. You don't even get into the whatever, what is it called?
The database.
Yeah.
So guys, please, if you can, please prepare yourselves and apply for this, because it's free, and this world is for all of us, surely. If you feel like you'll have more opportunities, which I think you will, whichever part of the country you come from, if you apply for this particular program and you get it, it will be good for you and for those who depend on you. And if at all, for instance, you feel like maybe it's a waste of time, no, it's not. It's not a waste of time. It's not a waste of money, because it's free, number one. And number two, once you apply, you have the freedom of going about whatever you are doing currently and waiting for it. What's the loss? Yeah. So please apply.
Yeah, you can apply, and it's one of the easier ways that you can get to come here and live and work in the US.
Yep.
Yeah, so we also wanted to mention a few things that you should keep in mind while you're applying for this. So usually the open period is between October and November, dates pending right now, and then you put in your application, and then the results come out usually May of the next year. Okay, so you would find out in May of the next year if you won, and then the visa processing begins next year in October. Okay, and then they are giving out those visas between October and September of 2024. And if you do do your visa processing and everything goes through. And actually, so these requirements that we are talking about right now, nobody will ask you for them except for the country of eligibility, I think. No one will ask you for documentation about your education or work or whatever, but these are things that you will be asked when you're actually applying for the visa. So that visa processing happens between October and September of the next year. So that would be October 2023 to September 2024. And then if you do get your visa, you would need to travel within 6 months of the visa being issued. Okay, so that's just a general timeline of how things go.
So if what he's saying is, please get your every item you need ready. Just have all these in check. So for instance, if it's your high school diploma, make sure you have access to it. So it's somewhere that when this second period comes, so it's actually something that when this second period comes and now you've been chosen and they need all these documents sent, you have them handy. So things like certificates, transcripts, please get them. Have them in like somewhere in a safe place where you can actually go and access it very quickly when you need them. Make sure you are good with the government, especially if you don't be in any crime. Like, don't commit crimes, don't be in any bad books with the police, because those are the disqualifying items that prohibit people from actually getting to the US.
Yeah.
So please do that. Also, if you've been in any other country for more than a period of 6 months, make sure that you have a clearance certificate from the police from the other side, and just have it somewhere, because when you come to this point where they'll need all these documents sent, you have everything for you to go.
Yeah.
The other thing is money. What will you say about money?
Before we get into money, I just wanted to insist a little bit more on those transcripts. So for the DV lottery itself and the visa application, you just need your high school certificate if that's what you're qualifying with. But if you're planning to come to the US and work and do those things, you need to have your education, if you have like a college degree and things like that. And how many of you know where your transcripts are from your university? Oh, you know, because why?
Let me tell you, guys, I have a story, and that's why she's actually insisting. Because when I was coming here, I was sure I will come here and work. So I needed all my transcripts ready. And the way we go through our universities in where I'm from, like in Kenya, is you get these transcripts and you keep them somewhere. You think that these are just papers. And when you actually need them, you look everywhere, and you can find your first semester, second semester, third, fourth, and fifth. They are nowhere to be seen. Then you have the next year's or 2 years later, you have all the transcripts. So you have like maybe a gap of 2 transcripts or 3 that you can't see where they are. So it's good to always have all these things well in advance, because I went through it and I had to go through a COVID period where I tried to get all these transcripts and it was so hard. You go to school, you find that it's now locked and there's no one who can access any of those places, like the examination rooms, the examination centers that we have in different campuses. And that almost cost me like coming here and getting everything that I needed. So make sure you have it well in advance.
Yeah,
it can be very frustrating. Actually, let me just add that.
Oh yeah.
Especially for Kenyan universities, you go and they tell you the person who is responsible is on leave, and they will come back because they're on maternity leave. They'll come back after 4 months because we are new. We don't know where you came from. We have never seen you, and the documents, the database that we have was changed the other day. So we still have issues even with people who are still in school and want their transcripts. So what about you that we don't know?
That
Where will you find
10 years ago.
You graduated 10 years ago, for heaven's sake. We didn't have this system. The system was just developed 3 months ago, and we are still in the process of transferring all the records, all the results to make a transcript. Oh my God, please.
Yeah, those in Kenya, you know how it is. Even for me, when I was moving here many years ago, I didn't even get my transcripts at all. Yeah, because you just have to start early. And even if it's not for the green card, for the lottery or green card, or wanting to come here, it's your it's your documents. It's things that you worked for, you went to school for, so have them with you. You never know when the opportunity will come and you finding yourself that you need to travel within the next however many months, and that's not enough time for you to obtain them. So just start right now.
Yeah, please start.
Yeah. And then so going on to money. So the initial application, the lottery itself is free. So if anyone is trying to tell you that they will apply for you and you pay them this much money, maybe they'll just the service of actually applying for you. But it's pretty simple, and we've explained what you need, and we'll do another video actually probably sometime going into detail of, you know, this is what you put in here and this is what you should put in here. So you should be able to do it by yourself. But you shouldn't need to pay anyone money for the actual application. You understand?
Actually, there's a place where I read that even if someone is applying for you, make sure you have, there's a number that usually is generated after you're done applying. Make sure you have that. What's the name of the number? The
confirmation number.
Yeah. The confirmation number, have that. That is your key.
Because sometimes what happens is someone will help you, and then when it's time for the results are out, and you know you need that confirmation number, because that is the only way that you get to know if you've won or not. They keep that number for you, and then when it's time to check the results, now they are charging you for that number.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, some people do that.
But life is hard out there. So
yeah, so make sure you're applying for yourself, okay? And when you do, make sure you're keeping your confirmation number somewhere secure. And when the results come out, be the one to check for yourself using that confirmation number. So that part is free. Now, in the case that let's say you got selected, that means you have to start the visa application process. That part is not free. You have to pay for the visa fees, right? Visa application fees.
Medical.
The medical, getting everything that they need, and then flights, you know. So if you have like a family of, let's even say it's just you, medical fees, I don't know how much it is right now.
Someone said, you remember the other couple said that it's around 30,000 right now?
Yeah.
Based on the exchange rate.
So about 30,000. I think the application might be around the same. I'm
so
not
30,000,
sure.
we are talking about Kenya.
Oh yeah, so
Kenya
we should probably say $300.
Yeah, or maybe something like that.
Around $300 maybe. This is just estimates. We're not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe later on we'll find the actual amounts. If we do, and we can share with you guys, but we're just estimating. So $300 for the medical. Let's just say $300 for the application as well. Okay, and then you'll need to make all these photos and make sure, you know, when you go to apply for these, I mean, do they charge you to apply for the certificate of good conduct?
Yeah, it's, when I left it was 1,000 shillings, so I don't know how much it is right now.
Yeah, so, and getting all the things that you require, you know, you'll probably need your birth certificate, most likely.
Very important.
Yeah, so later, so all of those things, they take up money. And then you also have to have flight money. Okay, so how you're gonna transport yourself from Kenya or whichever country you're coming from to the US. And then you also need some money with you, because when you land, then what are you gonna eat tomorrow, you know? And probably within the next month or 2 months or 3 months until you find your way around here. So you do need to start putting some money somewhere in, you know, just in case you win. You'll need it. It actually becomes costly, and you need some cushion.
Yeah, something else I've remembered is like the passport. Make sure that it is the current passport for your country, because I know some countries usually change the passport look and feel and everything. Just make sure that your country has not changed the passport in the last maybe few months or maybe a year. Something might have happened and you're having a outdated passport, and here you are, you've applied and now you don't have anything to go by. So make sure you have the right document for traveling, and please also just make sure that you have at least someone that you can actually rely on. Ask these questions to. Don't just land here like blank like this. We are not in the 80s or in the 70s. We're in the internet age, so you can find all this information. You can contact someone who is here if you're landing in the state that they are in, they can help you in the teething process. So, yeah.
In the what process?
Teething.
What's the teething process?
Teething process is like when it's just a metaphor for to mean English to mean like someone who will guide you through the initial steps in something that's new to you. So they have more information than you have.
Okay.
So like the way you assisted me when I came here,
when you were teething,
when I was teething. So that like it's like a baby, the way they are teething, so they still have aches while they are trying to have the thing that is very important, which is food. So you help them through the teething process by mashing the food.
Right. Yeah, so guys, that's just information that for you to think about, and as you prepare yourself to apply, we're just putting this out there for anyone that's interested. Please make sure you share it with anyone and everyone in your circle. As we said, the lottery is fair and free, and there is no one is more advantaged than the other person. So tell your wife, tell your husband, tell your kids who are over 18 or have a high school education, tell your girlfriends, tell your boyfriends, tell your aunties, uncles, shushus, grandmas, grandpas, everybody. And also remember, there are other ways that family or other people can help you come to the US. So the more people you tell, the more people that apply in your circle, the more the chances of someone getting it, and you have a chance of, even if you don't win yourself, they might
win.
And then
later on, you will use another process that qualifies you to have a green card.
They can invite you, or just another.
Yeah,
You can find a way to come. So please share. As we're saying this, I know you have someone in mind. Please share it to one person or two, or a WhatsApp group, or someone that can benefit from this information.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and see you in the next one, where we'll keep on talking about these visas and these options that we have into coming to the US.
Alrighty.
Peace
Out, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Inaitwa nini?
Exemption.
Mazeni nimetafuta jina haiko kwa brain yangu, imepotea. Green card. So that's very important, and there are 3. Inaitwa nini?
Exemptions.